Well, I am back in Eugene, Oregon. So I just flew out here yesterday. It's Saturday. I didn't make this video on Friday like usual. Just kind of too busy. Didn't have like a peaceful, quiet kind of area to do it because I was like, I don't know, just got up super early and then I was at the airport and those kind of places all day. And then I got out here and I was driving in the car and then it got dark. And so it's Saturday. Last week was kind of intense. Like I'll tell you, I have noticed a bit since I adjusted that medication down to go from 100 milligrams of Seroquel down to 75. Like I've noticed myself being like more tense and agitated. Like there's been like a blend of a different bunch of different things going on. Like I mentioned now, like money's been a little bit weird lately. That I haven't been making as much cash. I haven't been doing as much web development work, and also haven't just like been like inspired or motivated to like go find that many new clients. Though I did put quite a bit of time in the last couple of weeks into it, but without a ton of luck. Um, and then like the last like week or so, like I got wrapped up in all this stuff going on with net neutrality, and then I found myself like speaking out and like posting online, and then I got this idea to do like a live stream with somebody, like to try to do some like grandiose thing to like bring attention to net neutrality. So we did like me and a kid from New Jersey did like a 12-hour live stream all day this week. And then a couple days later, I went to a protest, and like I felt like this kind of like this tension, this discomfort, like this desire to like speak my mind and be vocal about something, but then this resistance about the exposure of like broadcasting myself on the internet or showing up live to something, and kind of this like discomfort, but like wanting to stretch my comfort zone, and then trying to identify like what is it that I'm scared of, like what is it I'm uncomfortable with, and then realizing, okay, I'm scared of something. Like what am I scared of? I'm scared of being wrong. Like so I've got this like fear of being wrong publicly, and or exposed in that way, like being incorrect or proven wrong or to look stupid. And then I got this fear of being perceived as being a crazy person, maybe because I'd speak emotionally or angrily or passionately about something that's sort of controversial, and I could come off as like being a crazy person. And then there's a fear that like I might actually genuinely be crazy, you know? Like I mean, I did the live stream and I was worried like, "Oh my god, what if I like go into another realm in some way and I act crazy and it's being broadcast live and like I'm exposed in that way? What if a shitload of people tune in and I can't handle the pressure of how to react to having like an audience?" And so I was just kind of really like paranoid about all those possibilities. And it felt like that tension building, but also like that wanting to like exercise and get practice in speaking out, you know, even if it's sort of like an exercise, you know, trying to build that skill and quality. And then there's like a lot of like trying to figure out like at what point is this about me versus it being about a cause, you know? Like how do you like speak passionately about something but not make it about you? You know, like you know, without it being like self-serving and egotistical and an ego thing, and doing it because it's the right thing and you believe in a cause, but like without making it be about you, you know? So I kind of like struggle with that. I'm kind of still struggling with it. I'm sleeping all right. You know, I also last week had tried to not force myself to do like my yoga kriya stuff in the morning. And I found that like I didn't like the idea of doing it because I felt like it was an addiction, or I was scared not to do it, or I was being told to do it by like a yogi or some kind of thing. So like I stopped just for like a day, and I was really like, I kind of like it, you know, I found it enjoyable and like peaceful thing to do. So I've kept with it, but now I feel like in some way, like now, like I'm choosing to do it as opposed to it being like this thing I have to do. Um, so is that going on? And then, I don't know, just, I read this post that I wrote a year ago. And I mean, I was making these videos at the time that I wrote the post, but I wrote this thing basically saying like, I wrote this article when I was depressed. It was like an exercise in writing while I was really depressed and feeling like putting in words what that felt like. And so as I wrote it, I was like, oh my God, like, I didn't like the idea of putting it out there and in a way that it, as I was thinking, like, okay, I want to post this. I think there might be something useful to somebody out there in the world to read the writing of somebody like openly talking about their fears and their sadnesses and their upsettedness. And I put like a fuse on it of a year. So the idea was that I wrote this thing and I would never publish it while I felt that way. But a year has passed. So like, I don't mind publishing something I wrote a year ago that is expressive of emotion that, it's almost like, oh, well, that was the way I was then. Like, it's not reflective of, But some of the things, I was writing in there, like, writing about being happy and like not happy and finding happiness and being unsatisfied and spending all my time on like work and projects without finding satisfaction and joy. And like some of this stuff, I was like, shit, like it hasn't changed. Like I don't feel depressed right now, but I still do feel like kind of wrapped up and focused on work and projects, and my mind is always kind of ruminating about that stuff while still trying to make a living and make money. So that's like still like constantly a thing of like something that's recurring, like worrying about like wanting these projects and all these things to go well, and also like trying to make a living. Where some people like seems like I could just kind of just live and build friendships and relationships and stay in one place and have stability and security and all that. Yet for some reason I'm like out there doing all this other shit. So yeah. But yeah, I did find like in the last like week it was a tough transition. There was a little bit of like mystical kind of thinking of like believing, like feeling I need to like do this and it's meant to be and I'm growing and I need to shed this layer and get into this comfort zone and stretch my comfort level and like all this stuff, and got a little nervous about it, but I felt, I kept asking myself like, okay, is this crazy? Is any of this crazy? Am I just paranoid about being crazy? Like what? And yeah, it turned out all right.